Very good morning to you and welcome once again to a Daybreak with me, Muriel Disa, only on Top 100.3. We're part of the Fun Asia Network. Now, as I promised you, we are joined by Asad Badami, who's the Managing Director. We're talking to him about all things important. Now, he's an accomplished leader with over 20 years experience managing multiple line of businesses, strategic leader successfully, developing people and process for long-term success by leveraging consumer and customer insights, driving innovation and change management. Now, set up new operations and developed businesses across UAE, Qatar, North Africa, and China, and utilizing strong business acumen in functions including sales and marketing, commercial, and the supply chain, consistently delivering growth and positive company turnaround, lead large multidiscipline, cross-cultural, and high-performing teams, fostering an atmosphere that motivates them to drive strategic goals, deliver high value, and maximize productivity. Welcome to the show, Asad.
Thank you, Amir.
Well, thank you for taking time out and coming on to the show. Mr. Asad is the managing director of AMAP. Could you talk to us about your journey, in the automotive after the aftermarket industry, actually, and what actually led you to this current role? I remember our discussion a year ago.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It was a humble beginnings, like most of the companies back in the day here in the country. My father moved in the late 80s to the UAE from Pakistan, and he started his career with the automotive parts business back when he became a businessman. And then in early 2000s, I completed my education in the US and then joined the family business in 2001. Again, we were a small setup at that time, a small shop in Dera, and times were different at in that period. So when I joined, it I had great opportunity to see how we can evolve the business to the next level, and here we are today.
I love that you mentioned that we started off small, but here we are. We are a conglomerate. Talk to me more about this, right? I mean, I'm very interested in knowing the scaling up of a business. Now, it is a dream come true for any entrepreneur to dream big, but to make it big and to leave that footprint into a world that not very many people of us know about. Please, I would love to know your story.
Yeah, so again, it's we were also fortunate. We were in the right place at the right time. As a country, also we've seen how the country has evolved over the past 40 years, and where it's now become a global strength. I think we have a similar story where we started off very small, but we had the right base with the experience of my father, and there we are in a land of opportunity, and in the early 2000s there was a lot of focus on UAE and Dubai specifically being the distribution hub. What I realized when I joined the business is that there are a lot of aspects of the business. At that time, the business was very traditional. It was not a very computerized, let me say, or automated. But with my education background, I realized that there's a lot of opportunity of converting the business into improving productivity, efficiency. There was a lot of opportunity in the aftermarket auto parts segment, where the consumers were mostly focusing on purely genuine parts and did not really have the understanding of the value of the aftermarket parts. And that's where we saw a gap, that with proper marketing strategies, with proper educating the market, we should be able to create that understanding that the aftermarket parts are, if not better, equally as good and reliable as the genuine parts, and with at a much better value. And we took that onto us, and we brought in certain brands. Of course, we were much smaller at that time, so we did not get a lot of traction from bigger names in the industry. So we had to create our own space. We had to create some examples of taking on some smaller brands and really working hard into making them, which today are global brands. And with that sort of setup and results, we then got, over a period of time, we got a lot of attention from bigger brands when they saw our capability of marketing and promoting the brands. Our recent success, one of the bigger names in the region, is ADNOC, where we got the distribution rights in 2020 for exclusively to distribute ADNOC on throughout the UAE across all the high street So that was a major win for us. And there are some other key brands which maybe as an end consumer or a car owner you might not recognize, but at the trade level those brands are very well known. And we have been able to bag some big names recently, which has again taken us to the next level.
Okay, I love the fact that so casually you put this across. Oh, in 2020, we bagged ADNOC. That's a huge, big news, a big win for you, a stepping stone. Now, you mentioned a couple of terminologies, right? So, as a layperson, someone who doesn't really understand this, now, what is aftermarket industry, or what are these genuine parts that we keep talking about? So, if you can dissect this information for me, please.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. When we say genuine parts, so every vehicle manufacturer, of course, they're manufacturing vehicles, but every vehicle has thousands of different parts that go in. The reality is, all those parts are not manufactured actually by the vehicle manufacturer themselves. So they are outsourcing it with quality manufacturers who are producing different parts, small parts within which go inside the car, which we usually cannot even see. um, those are parts being manufactured by, like I said, quality manufacturers. Now, those quality, of course, those parts, when they're produced for the vehicle manufacturer, they're packaged and given to the vehicle manufacturer in their private packaging, and those brand names. I don't want to take the names of the brands because there are quite a few. We all know which are the leading vehicles or car brands around the globe. And then those cars, when you take your car for servicing to dealerships, then mostly the brands which are preferred by end consumer, the trust level is there in terms of, because the packaging will have the same brand name as the vehicle. So that trust is always there. So those are genuine parts. Now, these manufacturers who are producing these parts, they also have their own private labels or their own brands. So the quality would be equally good, performance wise equally good, but just because those brand names are not very well known, they are then not recognized by the trade, right? So in some cases the vehicle manufacturers would also use the manufacturer's own private brands as the OEM part. So when I say OE, I mean original equipment. So those parts, so again, those brands get a huge recognition as soon as they become the OE partners of the vehicle manufacturer. So aftermarket parts are basically, um, you can say, they're applicable in terms of quality, in terms of performance, to the same extent as genuine parts in most cases, um, but with a different brand name. So hence the whole aspect of marketing, promoting them, having the right distributor in place in different regions who have the capability of pushing that brand through the trade, then becomes a bit tricky for the aftermarket brands.
Very, very interesting, in that angle. So what I can kind of gain knowledge is the fact that, for a brand to make it up to a level of, where you can reckon with, you've got to be associated with the right set of dealers into the region. You've got to be associated with the right set of brands that could leverage out of the existing names.
Yes, absolutely spot on. So yeah, this your distribution network then becomes key for the principals, let me call it. The principals would be the brand owners or the manufacturers, and then they look for the right distributor in every region. And like you said, they look at the distributor's capability of logistics, their network within their country or within their region, in terms of what sort of dealers they work with, what sort of capabilities they have in terms of inventory management and market facilitation, like credit facilities and stuff like that. So a lot of angles go into recognizing or being able to get to that ideal distributor level.
Well, now you've spent decades in the industry, right? Whether it is research, whether it is sales or marketing. Now, from a leadership perspective, how would you describe the evolution of AMAP and its positioning in the GCC automotive distribution landscape?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we've come from really humble background, so we evolved quite a bit in terms of making sure that we kept on focusing on what matters, and what in terms of adding value to the entire chain. Because product is something that, yeah, a lot of companies bring products. What is missing, or what was missing in this segment, was the services side, in terms of making sure proper inventory management, logistics capabilities, on time delivery, warranty management and solutions. So a lot of different angles were looked at, and we looked at those angles in terms of value add to create that strength for our company AMAP, and use focus more on that to club it together with the products that we were bringing in, and that really helped us get to where we are today.
And if I have to talk to you about your strategy, your core vision, how would you evaluate it where AMAP's journey is concerned?
Yeah, of course, the vision is has always been from the beginning of adding value to all stakeholders. So when we say all stakeholders, it's not only about the customers; it's also about our suppliers who are trusting us with their brands. It's about the authorities that are supporting us run the business and an organization in a good way. It's about the banks who are helping us finance our business. So we, as a vision, our focus has been to make sure that we are adding value to all stakeholders who are involved in our business and ultimately grow together.
Well, this is brilliant. We started off humble. These were the words coming out of, Mr. Asad, who is the managing director of AMAP. But also now let's talk to you about the UAE markets, right? This is specifically shaping and talking about opportunities in the automotive parts and battery distribution sector in the UAE. What a big role did it have to play, and how did you and the company evolve over time?
UAE, of course, has its own story, which the world recognizes now, and our story is no different. We evolved with the opportunity. As the country grew, the opportunities came with it naturally, and we prepared ourselves to make sure that we take advantage of those opportunities along with the growth. We know that there's a huge influx of people coming from all over the world trying to improve their quality of life by moving into the UAE, and that results into more vehicle population, more cars on the road. And we've seen how the infrastructure in this country has grown strength to strength. Every year, we see how the road network is improving, and what that means is there are more cars on the road. There are more cars to facilitate all the tourists that come into this country and in this region. Hence, that provides has provided us a lot of opportunity. How we took advantage of this is by making sure that we're prepared for all this the growth that has been coming into the country, and by making sure that we are ahead of the competition and ahead of the game by providing services which are new, which are relevant, which bring in value to the people, and and saving time. And that's why one of our extensions of our business has been into the services business as well, where we have a company called Dialer Battery, which is on-site services, and then we have now 3 years ago we launched our service center, Auto Studio, and we're expanding that as well. So our focus has always been to see how we can bring in more convenience to the end consumer as well as to the trade as well.
Asad, you've linked me to my next question because you've said that yes, we are kind of branching out into service industries and we're trying new innovations, innovative products into the market. Now, talk to me about several. I can see a list of brands right before me, right? I mean, the partnerships and the brands that entrust in you, and likewise as well. Why is it important, from your perspective, to make sure that there are strategic partnerships with brands like that? Do they elevate your stance in the market, or you feel it is imperative to have such brands so that you can grow larger with time?
See, it works hand in hand. Certain brands come in already with huge value. I took a name ADNOC because everyone recognizes that, and we all know how big a name ADNOC is. But when you hear the word ADNOC, the first thought goes towards a fuel station. Your car going into a fuel station. You would never think car services or engine oil or radiator coolant, brake oil, and stuff like that. So that's where our job comes in. Yes, the brand name is there, it's recognized, but do people know what is the portfolio of that brand name, what sort of products within that brand can be provided? So it's very similar to ADNOC is one of the examples, whereas all the other brands that you see that we deal with are come in with a similar kind of background, where the brand names are strong, but they are dependent on the right distributor to make sure that they're channelized in the right way and through the network and through a trusted source. As AMAP, we've been able to build that trust with our retail distribution network, where people know that if a product is coming through AMAP, it will have a quality standard. They will have availability all the time. They will have the services backed, and they will have, if there's any after sales issues, it will be backed by AMAP. So then your distributors reputation then adds a huge value to the brand names change. So it's more of a collaboration, and that's why for us it's very important to find the right partner, as in a brand which has the quality, which has the range, which has the market demand. But the same way, the manufacturer also looks for the right distributor that has the market reputation, that has the network, that has the capability of then pushing the product into the market.
Very interesting now that you've mentioned this, Asad, because again, I would love to know what is the, I'm sure the team would be doing a lot of R&D. You would be also going back and forth to see should we onboard a brand or not. Do you have a set guidelines that you kind of abide by to make sure that, yes, if we are onboarding a product, it needs to meet a certain criteria?
Yes, some of the products that we deal with are more technical than others. Like for example, battery business, for us, it's an extremely technical focus, because of the warranty matters, because of the shelf life issues. We are the only organization, not only in the country but in fact in the region, where we can proudly say that we have our own R&D and quality control center for batteries business, and we invested in that again with the same purpose in mind of making sure that when we are onboarding a supplier, we are capable enough of understanding the standards of their manufacturing capabilities and the product as better than anyone else. So we do. So answering your question, yes, we go into very thorough analysis. We do manufacturer visits. We check their quality control and R&D center. We have technical people in-house for every parallel of our business. And when I say every parallel, we're into batteries, auto parts, and lubricants. So each parallel has its own individual team, has their own capable individuals who have the responsibility of making sure that whoever we're bringing on board resonates the same standards and mindset as we do as a distributor, and what the market expects from us.
Absolutely. You know, Asad, we've seen the automotive industry evolving, right? I mean, over the years, I mean, you go back in time and until now, and we are still evolving. So, talk to us about what differentiates AMAP's approach, say, to distribution from other players in the region, and what sets you apart. Competition is rife. So, how do you gauge it?
Yeah, I think competition is there in every industry, and what we do, or what we focus on, is how can we improve ourselves on a continuous basis, right? You rightly said that the industry is evolving like everything else. Automotive industry is evolving very fast with electric vehicles taking more space on the road. So the parts segment kind of changes, evolves also. We, of course, have a very clear focus on making sure that we are a step ahead. We want to kind of gauge the future. We do a lot of analysis in house to make sure that if certain category of vehicles is coming more on the road, we have the parts ready for it. I'll give you an example that every year we bring in a huge focus on new vehicles that are being produced by manufacturers. Now, we know in the aftermarket industry that the demand of the products for that car will probably come after 3 to 5 years, once those cars go out of the dealership services and come into more of an aftermarket services requirement. But we focus on making sure that we have an understanding that what are the parts that are required for the car, what our manufacturing partners are doing. We support them in terms of developing the parts for those cars, and then keep ourselves ready in terms of going in advance to our partners locally and globally, informing them of the new part numbers that are being developed for the new vehicles, so that they are aware that as soon as the demand comes in the market, we are taking the first opportunity. So many aspects like this of the business, like keeping ahead of the game, is something that we want to make sure that we keep doing.
Absolutely. Now, with a different pair of lens, we are discussing the automotive industry with Mr. Asad, the managing director of AMAPs. Quickly, let's move into the next hour. We continue this conversation. Absolutely, I'm here. I'm here to keep you company all the way until 11 o'clock. We are in a conversation with Asad Badami, who is the managing director of AMAPs, and we're talking to him all things automotive industry, getting to know the nitty gritty of it. Also, the aftermarket industry, it's huge. The opportunity is, believe you me, I mean, with the kind of conversations that we are having here, it is really, really quite a market. Now, to understand, your market at close, and of course, I mean, your pair of lenses and mine would be very different. Are there any challenges?
Oh yes, of course. There's no business without a challenge, and of course, in general, life is challenging. But like we were discussing off air as well, every challenge brings an opportunity along as well. I'll go back to the ADNOC story where in 2020, in the midst of COVID, that's where we got the opportunity to grab that brand, and now with the recent geopolitical situation, I feel there's other opportunities that will also pop up. Unfortunately, one person's loss is someone else's gain, and that's how the world operates. So it all depends on how you approach the situation. Challenges in general in our industry are always going to be issues like lower quality products
Mm.
which come into the market, controlling duplication and counterfeit products. That's a huge challenge within the aftermarket industry. As soon as a brand starts gaining any momentum in any market, then unfortunately there are players who will bring in duplicate copies of that product with much lower quality. So constant market education is also a challenge of making sure that market understands the difference between original products and fake products. Um, uh, Supply chain recently has been a major challenge. Of course, there are ways around it, and being a regional player, we've seen how every country is able to adapt to the situation. Yes, we've had this situation in this region where we are now coming to terms with how to operate around it. But globally or regionally, when in the greater African markets that we work with, there will always be situations where there will be issues at the port, things will change overnight, governments change overnight, so suddenly policies change. So we kind of understood that at the end of the day, markets work around it. People get an understanding, they find solutions. And that's the mindset that we work with. Finding solutions and moving on. So yeah, challenges are many, but I feel there are multiple solutions. It's a mindset thing. We have a mindset of making sure that we keep looking for solutions and applying them.
Again, I love that one line that you said in 2020, where a lot of organizations were falling back. You took that leap of faith and you said, okay, let's go ahead and make this happen. How did you manage to knock on big doors? I mean, getting brands like AdNoc onto, on your attached to your name, or you being a partner with them. I mean, how did this happen? How did this partnership happen? This is a dream come true for any entrepreneur. Like, how do you scale it up in a difficult situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I am a strong believer that how you act when times are good is you're gonna get results when times are challenging. As an organization, when things move smooth, we have to make sure that we invest into the right people, the right infrastructure. We keep improving our logistical capabilities, our inventory capabilities. So we build ourselves to a level. So when these challenges come, we are able to have that sort of a capability of absorbing those challenges. Now, what happens is when the companies that are unable to withstand these type of jerks, then maybe the brands or the products that they are distributing they're not able to, or they're not capable of responding to the situation in a way, and then hence that gives the principals a requirement of looking for the right partner. So, and when they see companies like us even withstanding and standing strong in situations like the COVID or the recent war times, we get a lot of recognition. And so again, how you act in good times is the results you get in challenging times.
Well said there.
Yeah.
Now let's talk to you about customer expectations, particularly in terms of quality. We're talking about speed and service, assurance, and knowing that this is my go-to brand. How can any company become, a customer's, your end user's go-to brand?
Well, it's again, it's if I understand the question correctly, the consumers for us are mostly not car owners. The consumer for us are actually either retailers who are stocking our brands and selling, or the mechanics who are then installing those brands. I'm sure you're driving a car, you would not know what brakes are in your car or what engine oil is going in your car. Yeah, certain products like tires, which are visible, that's where your decision making kicks in to a certain extent. But the entire influence in this industry comes from these players who are such key members of the entire supply chain, right? Like, when I say key members, I'm talking about the mechanics, the garage mechanics, and the retail shop owners who are promoting certain brands. So for us, we really work very closely with this segment, where we make sure that they recognize that the products that they're putting in the vehicle and the product that they're promoting is something that they can really back in terms of quality and performance. A mechanic's biggest stress would be they would not want to put a product in your car where you would come back after a few days or a few weeks claiming warranty, complaining about their the performance of that product, because then ultimately in today's day and age, they have the car owners has 2000 garage options that they can move to, right? So again, a lot of reputation of the garages or the service centers also depends on the products that they're applying into the vehicles. Hence, for them, getting a product which is good value, where they can improve their profitability while making sure that they do not get warranty issues and claims, and they can use those products to even, in fact, to improve their reputation. That's where their focus is, and that's the niche that we work with in terms of value and quality.
Brilliant. Now, what about sustainability, right? It's made a huge noise. I mean, a lot of us, a lot of industries talking about this back and forth, and it has become the need of the hour. So, according to you, how is AMAP contributing, say, to sustainable automotive solutions, and why is it the need of the hour, and why should we be considering this, even as an end user? When someone talks to me about sustainable solutions, what does it really entail? I don't even know.
Yeah, so your second question, I will answer first. That why we should do this. I believe we have more recognition and education today in terms of how even a small move from our side can help in a big way in improving so many things in the environment. The government constantly takes initiatives of many things green in terms of improving the environment on the whole, and we've seen that consistently being educated. So yeah, now is a bigger responsibility for us because we have that recognition. Maybe 30 or 40 years ago, that sort of information was not available. How we take care of it, or how we've actually taken care of it, is certain products of ours are more challenging to the environment. Car batteries, because 70% of a car battery is lead, and how you process lead can be hazardous to the environment. Hence, we've taken a completely separate focus, where we've created a business unit which is focusing purely on making sure that we are connected actually with the government to be authorized to collect the used batteries from the market, uh, handle them with proper care, because there is an element of acid and lead inside the battery. So how we manage the disposal of acid, how do we make sure that we break those batteries, collect the right raw material, and then send it to the smelters globally, who can then recycle those the lead to for usage again. So we've created a completely separate focus. There's a lot more that goes on to it, but it's difficult for me to explain the entire chain. But these are the type of steps that we've taken as a responsible suppliers. We hold the largest share of selling batteries into the UAE market. We take care of almost anything slightly above 20% of the market share. So that also puts a bigger responsibility on us to make sure that if the product's going into the market, it also comes back and it is managed responsibly to make sure that the environmental impact is minimal.
Wow, I love that your portfolio is so massive. And how, please, I mean, this is a little off topic. How do you manage to stay so humble with such a large portfolio?
Yeah. Well, no, that's humility is key. It's important
Yeah.
that we stay focused and we stay on track. Where we've reached, of course, is a great achievement for myself, the family, and the greater business. But I also feel that there's a huge opportunity further. There, sky's the limit, and there's a lot more that we can do. So we have to stay humble to make sure that we don't not see the opportunities that would come our way.
Now let's talk about the big achievement that you and your team kind of got on board. Winning the Distributor of the Year award at Auto Mechanica Dubai 2025 is a significant achievement. Beyond the award itself, what does this recognition actually mean to the wider AMAP team?
Well, of course, it was a huge moment for us and the organization to be recognized. We can all understand that it's a stamp of all the hard work that we've done over the past 25 years, and suddenly we get that recognition. And especially sitting around all the big names that were there during the award ceremony, that was again very humbling in terms of how we have come up the ranks. What it does for the organization, of course, is again puts us on the map, puts us on the big boys table. Let me put it that way, where there are some huge names in the market who are, some of the companies are doing a great job. So it puts us in that fraternity of companies that have done something.
Trusted
Yeah,
companies.
absolutely. That have achieved something, and it's a different feeling to be on that table.
Absolutely, certainly is. Now, let's talk to you about your vision 5 to 10 years. When I'm sure you must be posed with this question time and over again. Um, how long is long a vision for you?
Things are evolving really fast, right? So we can plan for a lot of things, but then we also have to stay agile and flexible in different situations. Like again with the recent events, it's shown. So yes, we always plan. We do have a vision of where we want to be in the next 10 years, and we're working towards it. The vision, of course, is to uh, become the leader in the not only in the UAE but in the region in terms of being the most trusted partner for any principal that is looking for the right distributor for their brands. And everything that we do in terms of improving our capabilities internally, improving our systems, and the way we are now using, recently we started focusing a lot on using AI tools to make sure that our productivity and efficiency of our people improves. So everything that is done is by making sure that we ourselves internally keep making ourselves stronger and stronger, hence becoming more attractive for brands out there.
Brilliant. And now, your final message, right, that you would like to share, say, with your dealers, partners, customers regarding AMAP's commitment to the market.
Well, we are here to stay. This is the 25th year for the company, so it's a milestone for us as well. We've seen a lot of ups and downs, and our partners have supported us through those ups and downs, and it works both ways, and so have we. We've so my message is we're here to stay. We're here hopefully for the next 100 years, and we hope that we can keep adding value to their business. We can keep providing and meeting their expectations, or in fact exceeding their expectations, and we're excited of growing together.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put you in the spotlight, Mr. Asad, and I have to ask you this question. It's been weighing me down. As an entrepreneur in the industry, the top three things that you didn't know about the automotive industry that till today, when you sit to think, it startles you.
Oh, automotive industry is a very technical industry, right? So when I joined the business, I had no clue what the, how the car looks from the inside. Yes, as a young person, we would always were able to change the tires and stuff like that. So what startles me is like, even today, I come across certain products and which I never knew could be a part of the car, and then because the product development team keeps on coming up with different ideas. So, and with the cars evolving, with new equipment coming into the cars, it's always a learning for me and for the team, where we do keep getting surprised by so many different elements that a car can actually hold, and that gives us an opportunity to actually then be able to supply those parts, right? So yeah.
Well, thank you once again, Mr. Sath, for taking time out, coming to the studios, and this was like an educational trip into the world of the automotive industry, the aftermarket industry more so. More power to you. How can we stay connected? Is there a website, a link that we can go and do a little bit more research just in case we want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, for all the group companies, you can go to our website, badamiholding.com. So it's BADAMIHOLDING.com. And under that website, you will see all our group companies, including AMAP. And then each company website also shows the different products and services that we provide.
Well, this is excellent. I have the link. If you need it, you can start sending me a message on 0586861003. We'll be more than happy to furnish this across to you. Thank you, sir, for taking time out, coming to the studios. More power to you.
Thank you so much.